Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today we got some more surprise patch notes in Warzone and Modern Warfare 3, including a handful of meta changes, actual weapon changes and adjustments there, some patch notes, some gameplay updates, all sorts of stuff like that. As you can see, we've got our Tuesday, April 16th patch notes. As we go through everything here, if you enjoy the video, do me a favor, drop a like on it. It's always really appreciated. And if you are new to the channel or you simply have not subscribed yet, every single day I got you covered with all the need to know info for Call of Duty, so feel free to hit that sub button and of course turn on those post notifications. But starting here first on the multiplayer and zombie side of things for MP, we got a lot of UI and UX updates. Map widget in the quick play menu can now be scrolled to view all entries. The MORS sniper will now display the correct icon in the kill feed. Unlocked emblems from MW2 will now be stated as such in the menu. Addressed various issues causing certain stats to not be tracked on the scoreboard in Codcaster mode. Resolved an issue causing the score to appear as 0-0 during the round transition in gunfight and S&D. Editing a loadout during a match will no longer cause the player to be given the incorrect loadout. You love to see that. That one's been a big problem since the launch of Season 3. Super obnoxious if you're trying to do challenges or adjust things on the fly. So really nice to see that one fully fixed there. For progression, executing a player with the Soul Render will no longer grant more XP than a standard finishing move. Resolved an issue preventing the winner's perk challenge from tracking progress. For weapons and attachments, the MTZ, they ended up increasing the velocity. That's solid there. The Holger 556 adjusted recoil and gun kick to decrease deviation, allowing for a more predictable pattern. That's solid on the Holger because that thing was already so easy to use. It's now even easier. And then on the M16, they decreased the horizontal and vertical control, decreased the gun kick and the visual recoil. These changes were made in a previous update. Exclusive Ace covered this the other day, where the M16 is now much easier to use across the board, and actually not a terrible choice, surprisingly enough. For SMGs on the Ram 9, they decreased the hipfire accuracy. They also increased the ADS time a tad bit, so that's a decent change there. Striker 9 removed the ability to aim down sights while sliding without tac pads equipped. On the base Striker, decreased the ADS time and increased the velocity. That's solid. And on the Swarm, they decreased the flinch. On the Haymaker mag lift kit, they decreased the pellet damage, or the damage pellet count, from 5 to 4, the near to medium damage and the near to medium damage range as well. Before today's update, this near to medium damage was set to be an improper value, potentially allowing more ranged lethality than intended. So that maglift kit on the Haymaker is going to be decently worse now. On the MORS, they also corrected an optic misalignment, causing shots to travel slightly off center. That's a huge fix as well, especially for Warzone. I imagine that's going to be included in the Warzone patch notes as well, that we'll get to in just a moment. On the MORS, Hexer Optic removed the ADS sight benefit, or the ADS speed benefit rather. And then also on the suppressor muzzle, added compatibility with all MW2 subs. That's solid there. For equipment on the EMD grenade, tracking device will now ignore enemies who are downed, and downed players must now stand before removing the tracking device. On frags, they increased the intermediate explosive damage bit and decreased the intermediate explosive damage radius a tad bit, so just some damage adjustments there. On the remote turret, players are no longer forcibly swapped to their primary upon the destruction of an owned turret. MW3 ranked play weapon evaluation. So I'm actually pretty excited to see how this plays out. They are going to be unrestricting some weapons here within multiplayer ranked. So obviously it's a super limited pool in terms of what weapons they actually use in the CDL and in multiplayer ranked. But now you are going to be able to use the BP50, the Holger 556, and the MTZ alongside the HRM9 and the Ram 9. So that's going to change up the ranked meta a lot within multiplayer. Really excited to see how pros adjust their setups for this, but that should provide for some good competition there. They also addressed some bug fixes here, addressed an issue that prevented a limited number of players from accessing MW3 ranked, addressed an issue that prevented platinum and above players from being able to view their seasonal rewards, addressed an issue that impacted the Seattle Surge camo. Players will now see the correct lightning pattern as shown in the camo selection menu. So that's all the multiplayer changes. Now let's jump over to Warzone. So here, the first things first, it's not Monday. It's definitely not Monday, but it is April 16th, so at least they got that right. Lethal equipment, C4, reverted the change that was preventing C4 from being detonated mid-fight, so you can still detonate it as you need there. And then on the frag, they did end up decreasing the intermediate explosive damage radius, but not the changes that they made to the actual damage like over in multiplayer, so interesting distinction there. Weapons, okay, so it's going to be similar to what we had with multiplayer. On the MTZ, they increased the velocity. That's obviously solid. It's not a huge buff, but it's a buff nonetheless. On the Holger 5.5.6, adjusted recoil and gun kick to decrease deviation. So again, making the Holger even easier to use. That's solid. Then on the M16, they decreased all of the control. They're making it easier to use. In multiplayer, it's a much better gun. In Warzone, the M16's all right, but I probably wouldn't recommend it all that much if I'm being honest. On SMGs, the RAM decreased the hipfire accuracy, and they also slowed it down by increasing the ADS time, so that is going to be noticeable there. The Striker, they decreased the ADS time, so it's actually faster, and the Velo is better, so the base Striker is even better for sniper support now, so that's really solid. Then on the Swarm, they did end up decreasing the flinch as well. And on the MORS, they corrected that misalignment, so the MORS is going to be, just a phenomenal sniper now because it's going to fully be accurate. If you were already good with it before the update, it's now even easier to use. So that is a very important change there. They also removed the aim down sight speed benefit on the Hexer optic, and that suppressor muzzle is now available on MW2 subs as well. And it's honestly a pretty good choice too. We also have some bug fixes here for Warzone. Fixed an issue preventing high trip challenges from tracking properly. I've seen a lot of people saying, hey, I won a game in high trip. I haven't gotten my camo unlocked. That should be fixed now. I know I played a couple of nights ago, won a game, got my camo. It's in the special category for what it's worth. So definitely check in the right place to see if you got it. But in general, just the challenges for the event as well should be working now. Fixed an issue where the Signal Intelligence public event would complete other hacking contracts. So obviously not intended there. Fixed an issue causing mosquito drones to disappear in a player's hands when hit by a shock stick. Who even figures that situation out there and then replicates it to prove that it's happening? Regardless, it's been updated now. Fixed an issue causing players to hear incorrect VO from biometric scanners. Keep in mind, these track in real life days. If you want to go for the secret camo for that, you have to be bioscanning every 24 hours in real life to actually stack that up. They also fixed an issue causing the amount of bots spawning in the boot camp playlist to be inconsistent. So those are all the patch notes for today. Honestly, some surprise weapon changes here. Definitely to the rifle category. I mean, this just makes two already really good rifles even better, which is nice to see. Striker got a decent buff here, so that's now even more competitive. Certainly not, game altering meta updates per se, but nonetheless, some decent weapon changes and some meta updates there with our surprise patch notes. Do keep in mind as well, we also have our standard routine weekly update dropping tomorrow on Wednesday, which will include some new weekly challenges, potentially some other changes as well. So we'll have to keep our eyes out for that. But as of right now, those are all of the new changes, all the new updates with today's patch notes. That's going to wrap things up. If you enjoyed the video, do me a favor, drop a like on it. And if you're new here, you want to guarantee that every single day you are up to date with news, updates, patch notes, meta breakdowns, all things going on in COD. You'll find it right here. So feel free to hit that subscribe button on your way out. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy. Have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.